Azog have become a well-known villain through the Hobbit films, but as people that have read The Hobbit know, he wasn't actually in the book. In this video I want to talk about an interesting theory, that Azog might have been one of the first uruks Sauron created in the late Third Age. So today on Council of the Rings, we'll take a look at this theory and see how plausible it actually is. Azog first comes into the story in 2790 of the Third Age, when he beheads Thror in Moria. It's one of the more gruesome tales from the appendices, and Azog's actions would spark the war between dwarves and orcs, and he would eventually be killed in the final battle of Hasnulbizar 9 years later. Here he was beheaded by Dane Ironfoot, after Azog had killed Dane's father, Nain. Of course the description we have of Azog only mention him as an orc, so why would anyone think he's an uruk? It actually has something to do with some interesting history in the Third Age. In 2475, we encounter the uruk-hai of Sauron for the first time. Here they are sent to Osgiliath to attack the outer defences of Gondor. The steward of Gondor at the time was called Denethor, and he too had a son called Boromir. Boromir managed to defeat the Uruks and hold Osgiliath, though the city fell into ruin and the stone bridge was broken. The last civilians in the city abandoned it for good after this. It's actually something I cover in this video in the corner, if you want to know the full story. But only 5 years after that, in 2480, it's noted in the timeline that Sauron sent his servants to populate Moria and the Misty Mountains. Many always think of orcs right away, but in the appendices the direct line is this. Orcs begin to make secret holes in the Misty Mountains so as to bar all the passes into Eriador. Sauron begins to people Moria with his creatures. I think it's interesting that Tolkien says that Moria is populated by creatures and not simply orcs. So this could imply that uruks was sent to Moria as well. Possibly other creatures as well, trolls I imagine. In fact, this is also supported by the fact that in the Fellowship of the Ring, the Fellowship encounter uruks of Mordor when they fight in Moria. So they clearly got there at some point, and without doubt from Mordor. We don't know the lifespan of orcs, so it's pure guesswork if Azog was sent with this group of creatures to populate Moria. But it's an interesting theory, and it does seem to be plausible considering the bits of lore I've just provided here. Some say orcs are immortal, like elves, because the Silmarillion tells us that orcs are corrupted elves. However, this doesn't represent Tolkien's final view on the origin of orcs, as we can read in Morgoth's Ring. This then, as it may appear, was my father's final view of the question. Orcs were bred from men, and if the conception in mind of the orcs may go far back into the night of Melkor's thought, it was Sauron who, during the ages of Melkor's captivity in Aman, brought into being the black armies that were available to his master when he returned. So while this theory tries to argue for Azog being an uruk, it's hard for me to imagine Azog as anything than an orc, simply because it's the description we have of him. But I do think this is one of the better theories out there, that at least have some few notes that could support it. Unlike some other ridiculous fan theories like Gollum being the one killing Frodo's parents. That's probably the worst out there, and easily debunked. Let me know if you want me to debunk that in a video. Let me know what you think below. Could Azog have been an uruk? Special thanks to all the members and patrons of the channel. You make all this possible, so thank you very much. You can now become a patron for free, so check it out. If you want to know more about the first uruk attack on Gondor, you should watch this video next. It includes awesome artwork from Ralph Damiani, commissioned by me. As always, thank you all for watching and being part of the Council of the Rings. Farewell till next time.